Imagine you're on a battlefield, you have your opponent who's coming towards you, and you're starting to run out of men, but you don't know what to do, and he's starting to flank you. This is another way of trying to describe a battle of chess, but in a more dramatic way. Chess is a fun strategic game that has been played all around the world for thousands of years. I learned to play chess from my dad, and whenever I was in chess class in high school. Chess can be a very fun game, but to really appreciate it, you have to know the history behind it, how the pieces work, and tips for playing the game. But first, I'll talk about the history. It's very rich in its historical background because, according to assortment.com, it originated on the Asian continent, and the Moors were from northern Africa that attacked Asia and brought the game back to them. And when they attacked Spain, they took it to Europe, and that's how it spread all over Europe. And that's how it has the pieces that we have today. Like, for example, the pawn represented the serfs and the social class that were the laborers. But now I'll talk about how the game works. There's 6 pieces. The first is the pawn. It moves forward 1 space and can attack diagonally to 1 space. The next is the rook, or the castle as some people call it, and it can move horizontally or vertically in any direction. There's the knight, who can attack in an L-shaped pattern, going 2 spaces forward or backward or any direction, and then another space over. The next piece is the bishop, and it can attack diagonally according to its color in a diagonal pattern. Then there's the queen, who can attack in any direction, and then the king, who can only move 1 space and can be put into check and then to checkmate, and that's how you win the game. Now you know how the pieces work, so I'm going to talk about a little bit of some tips that I have. And chess can seem complicated, but there's a few different examples of how to make it easier on you. For example, number 1, don't make any sacrifices in your pieces unless you get something better out of it. For example, don't waste a pawn on another pawn unless you can get, for example, a knight out of the attack. Another example would be to keep double pieces together. For example, 2 rooks would be better than a queen. Also, take advantage of the board. The center is the best place to be whenever you attack, but bishops can attack from the flanks because they move in a diagonal pattern, so they're better to have on the sides. So that's just a few tips to playing. But chess is just a great skill game that's been around for thousands of years, and it can seem hard, but if you remember some of the different historical background, the way the pieces move, and some tips to the game, you can still play and just have fun with some of your friends. So, thank you, and here's my audience.